So, this is the tuba. This particular tuba is a B flat tuba. There are 4 different kinds of tubas. The most commonly used one among students is the B flat. It's what most students start on. Sometimes when you get to the college level, you'll start learning the C tuba, which is a more professional tuba. And it's used mostly by professional musicians in orchestras. So, as you can tell, it is quite big. This particular tuba is a 4-valve with the valves on the side instead of on the top, which I prefer. It's easier to play. It's a 4-valve B-flat tuba. It has a huge bell, and it's an Eastman. I'm borrowing it from MCC, and I'd like to tell you a bit about it. So, for all brass instruments, the valve combinations are kind of the same. Well, they are the same, just not the same notes. The 7 main valve combinations is open, 2, 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 4, and 2 and 4. Sometimes you'll go to 1 and 4, 1, 2 and 4, 2, 3 and 4, and all 4 down. The pedal notes, like from the pedal B flat down, once you get to the F, which is 4th valve, you start adding these valves because it's compensating for the amount of air that has to go through the instrument, plus it's a very low note. So the easiest notes to play are the open notes. Usually they're B flat, D, and F. As you can tell, I'm not warmed up. I've been playing tuba since I was in 7th grade. In 5th grade, I started playing on euphonium, baritone. But I switched to tuba in 7th grade because my band teacher wanted me to, and I stayed on tuba because I just love the instrument. There's not many tuba players out there, so we all have to stick together. It's not a very popular instrument, but I believe it is a very precious and beautiful instrument once you get to know it. So as you press more valves down, the tubing the air has to go through is more. So it goes through more tubing. So it takes more air for the sound to get out the bell. Especially since it's a bigger instrument, it uses a lot of air. Flute uses a lot of air too, So a lot of tuba players end up being pretty good flute players too, which kind of explains why I'm so good at flute and bass flute. Anyway, it takes a long time to get smooth air going from one valve combination to another, especially from open to 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, or 1, just open to any of the notes, because open, I think just open to a valve takes a lot more air than from one valve to another, because open is the least amount of tubing the air has to go through. Whereas with the valves, it adds a lot more tubing for it to go through. Anyway, so you have the valves and the tubing, and then there's the bell. You never want to leave your tuba laying around with the bell down. That's how people end up stepping on the bell and it gets flattened on the edges. That's why if you look into a middle school band room, you might see a couple of brass instruments, especially some tubas, because they're the biggest, and some euphoniums, a miniature tuba, as I like to call it. You'll see a lot of them have these creases in the bell, and those are not good. You don't want creases in your bell. As much as possible, you want a smooth bell. I like how it flares out. You don't want just a straight bell. Flared bells spread the sound more than just straight bell. Anyway, this is a mouthpiece. It goes into the mouthpiece hole, and buzzing is what creates the sound on the instrument. And you have to balance the instrument in your lap and on your arm, and you have to find a good place to grip it, because it's such a heavy instrument, it's easy for it to slip. Anyway, I want to play something for you, a little bit of something that I've been working on. It's a little excerpt from an etude that I'm playing in one of my method books. I have 2 method books that I've bought currently. I have not gone through all the etudes. There's a lot of etudes, and it's really nice to explore different etudes. So anyway, the tuba. Another thing to say is the range on the tuba depends on the player and the tuba itself. B-flat tubas usually have a range from low B-flat below the staff to high B-flat right on top of the staff by middle C. And my range is pretty good on the tuba. I've conquered the lower range down past low B flat into the like basement of the instrument per se, and I'm working on the stratosphere, like way up high. Brass instruments are mainly known for their fanfares, but it's nice to have a bit more smoother sounding music to play. I want to just show a bit of the range on the instrument. That was the low B flat. Down to the D below the low F. And most of the mid-range stuff I have pretty good. When I get up higher, it gets harder to play. I'll just play the mid-range to the high range so you can actually hear it. That was the concert B flat and the staff to the B flat above the staff and then back down chromatically. I wish I had more time to show you what this instrument can do. I'll try to post more videos, but as you know, I am quite busy trying to stay up on my practicing on the tuba as well as on the bass flute and the upright bass and the piano. I currently have lessons on tuba and a class for piano, as well as a class that I'm playing bass flute in. So it keeps me quite busy. I hope to one day buy my own instrument, and my goal is to have one that is as new and amazing as this one. This one's an Eastman B-flat tuba. I believe it's in the mid 4,500 range, which is quite good for a tuba, because most tubas run for mid 5,000s to 10,000s if you're lucky. More of the professional high-end tubas are more than 10,000. But you can get some good new ones and used ones for cheap if you know where to look. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you for watching this video, and I'll try to post videos to share with you. Thanks.